About 2 years ago, we completed a major remodel of our data center to increase our capacity for things such as this event.
47 degrees.
One thing we did is we actually completely destroyed the facility down to the cement floors and up to the cement ceiling, and rebuilt everything from scratch. It took about 9 months. We still had customers here during that whole 9 months too. It was an interesting experience. One thing you'll notice is that the floor here is raised, and that's because when the engineers scoped out our changes, they found out with our expanding capacity we would single-handedly collapse the building. These buildings are not designed to have heavy data centers on the top floor. Data centers are usually in the basement. So they had to actually bring in steel I-beams, giant girders that you build a building with, and they're connected to these vertical posts. So all the weight of the building is not resting on the floor, it's actually resting on the posts. So, kind of unique thing. One thing you'll notice we'll go in there in a minute, you can experience more of the room, but just the most obvious thing is the lights. So the lights and the programs are going through, and I'll give Ricardo a moment to talk to you about the lights and the monitoring systems that we use here.
Hi everybody. So the idea behind the lights is to provide a way for you to quick visualize the data center status. So this is a project that one of our team members is working on. And the idea here is every rack is illuminated by LED lights. These LED lights are accessible from the network. So there is actually a device that connects all the lights to the network, gives an IP address, so then you can easily control the light system, and we can light each individual rack on any of the colors on the color spectrum. So what this allows us is to run what we call light shows. That's what you are seeing, and this is just for fun, right? But there is another good use of this system, which is to provide the visualization of the health status of the data center. So one thing we also do is we collect environment data inside each rack, like the temperature, the humidity, even the status of each individual outlet, so the voltage and the amperage. So we can gather this data and feed to this system, so potentially we can use this to do things like if a rack is running too hot, we can illuminate racks. Or if the majority of the systems are with a high CPU usage, we can illuminate a rack yellow, for example. So there are two goals here. One is just run the light shows for fun, but then also another goal is to provide you a quick way to visualize what's going on the data center. And if you think on a lot of data centers large than this environment, then we can really think on the potential that is basically you just get a quick glimpse on the area, and you can see something where you need your immediate action. Also, there are different ways we can gather the environment data. So, for example, how much are we spending power and cooling, for example? So one quick example you can see, as we walk inside the data center, you can look at this TouchSmart. That is a different UI for the same data. Basically what we are seeing here is the cooling, how the cooling system is behaving in one specifically rack. So we can see this for every rack on the entire facility. So it's a very useful information, and from there that can help us to run the data center in a most effective way. So as you walk inside the data center, I recommend you to take a look at that. Thank you.